Imagine you're a real estate analyst staring at a massive spreadsheet filled with property data, market values, purchase prices, rental incomes, and more. Your boss needs insights on the most valuable property types, monthly sales trends, and average market values, and she needs them by tomorrow morning. Panic setting in? Don't worry. By the end of this video, you'll be able to transform that daunting spreadsheet into a goldmine of insights using Excel's secret weapon, pivot tables. We'll dive into real property valuation data, showing you how to summarize information by property type, calculate total market values, analyze monthly sales trends, and even determine average rental incomes, all within just a few clicks. Plus, we'll introduce you to your new best friend, Copilot, who'll be there to lend a hand. Ready to become the data hero of your real estate team? Let's pivot our way to success. By the end of this video, you will be able to summarize and analyze data, customize data views by applying filters and sorting techniques, and improve pivot table presentation with styles and layouts for a professional finish. Pivot tables are used for various purposes, such as analyzing data to identify trends, patterns, and insights within large data sets, generating summary reports from detailed data, and performing cross-tabulations to compare different data points across multiple dimensions. To practice using pivot tables, we will work with property valuation data. Our property valuation data has tons of information: market values, purchase price, rental incomes, and much more. But how do we summarize it all and analyze the data to make informed decisions? That's where pivot tables come in. Today, we'll use pivot tables to summarize data by property type, calculate total market values per property type, and even find the average potential rental income per property type. And yes, Copilot is there to lend a hand.
Let's begin by summarizing our data by property type to see how many properties we have in each category. Start by selecting the data range. Navigate to the Insert tab and select Pivot Table. You'll see the data range highlighted has already been inserted in the dialog box. Place the pivot table on a new worksheet and press OK. On the right-hand side, you'll see pivot table fields. At the top, there's a search bar for finding specific fields, which is useful if your data range contains hundreds of columns. Below that is a list of fields in your data range that you might want to pivot on. At the bottom are the key components of the pivot table: rows, which groups the data vertically, columns, which groups the data horizontally, values, these are the numeric data points being summarized, and filters, allowing for the inclusion or exclusion of specific data from the analysis. Drag property type to the rows area and property address to the values area to count the number of properties. Now you can see the total number of properties per property type, with 50 properties in total. Next, let's summarize the total market value for each property type, this time involving Copilot. Prompt Copilot with Create a pivot table summarizing the market value by property type. Select Enter to execute the prompt. You'll find this method more efficient than manually creating the pivot table. Add this pivot table to a new worksheet. Return to the first pivot table summarizing the total number of properties per type. Here's where pivot tables shine. You can pivot the data without creating a new one. Replace property address with market value in the values area. Now you can see the total market value for each property type, showing that the bulk of our value is concentrated in the commercial sector. Let's go further by finding the average market value for each property type. This helps us identify the best earning property type, and to do this, select the drop-down next to the market value in the Field section, choose Value Field Settings, and summarize the value by the average function. The results show that commercial properties have the highest average market value of well over 900,000. Another way to analyze the data is by viewing the total sales per month based on the purchase price of the properties. Drag the type field into the columns section, add the date sold into the rows section, and replace market value with purchase price. Don't forget to format the numbers for readability. Excel automatically groups the dates into months, allowing us to assess total sales per month. Pivot tables are excellent, but sometimes you need to filter or sort your data for more precise insights. For instance, if you want to focus solely on residential properties, move the property type field into the filter section and filter for residential. This leaves us with the months in which residential homes were sold and the total sales for those months. You can also sort the data by highest sales value by right-clicking in the purchase price column, selecting Sort and choosing largest to smallest, revealing the highest sales in December. Now that the pivot table is just right, it's time to make it visually appealing. A quick style change can enhance the presentation of your data, making it pop and ensuring it's ready for a professional presentation. Navigate to the Contextual tab Design, which appears when you select any cell in the pivot table range, and now select a style that suits your brand. By using Excel and Copilot side by side, you can streamline these tasks, making data analysis more intuitive and less time-consuming.
Today we explored how to leverage Excel Copilot's pivot tables to efficiently summarize and analyze property valuation. We saw how to create pivot tables to organize data by property types, calculate totals, and determine average market values. We also demonstrated how to apply filters and sorting to focus on specific subsets of data and to enhance the visual presentation of your tables using various styles and layouts. Additionally, we touched on how Excel Copilot can assist in streamlining these processes, making data analysis more intuitive and less time-consuming. Now it's your turn. Open your own dataset, use the one we provided, and start building pivot tables. Experiment with different summaries, filters, and styles, and as a challenge, create a pivot table that summarizes data in a way you've never done before. And don't forget, Copilot is there to help you along the way. Why crunch numbers alone when you've got Copilot by your side?